Well, hello everyone. I hope you're doing fine today. I thought I would try and do a WIP Chat while cross-stitching once again. I've tried this once before. You might remember it was it was so bad. But I am currently working on the May drop for the Dark Queen of the Sea, and as you can see, I am mostly done. I've stitched on it like a crazy person, and now I only have to fill in this little bit here, which is all one color, so I don't have to pay attention to the pattern or count or anything like that. So I hope that this might help me do this. We shall see. So yeah, I thought I would take the chance to do at least a short WIP and Chat. Don't know how long this will be because I have other chores I need to do. We've had a little bit of a situation in the last couple of days in my family. So I guess we are going to head straight into the live updates. On Tuesday, yeah, on Tuesday my dad was admitted to the hospital. He hasn't been feeling well for quite some time, but he is part cat. He would never admit that he is not doing well, and we've been asking for month and month if he was feeling okay because he didn't look okay. And on Monday he finally admitted that he was not feeling good and made an appointment with his family doctor. And the doctor pretty much told him right away, go home, don't strain yourself at all, I'm going to get you admitted to the hospital. For my American friends, because I know that a lot of people have been already vaccinated in your country by now. In Germany, the situation is quite different. I think we have reached now 20% of people who have at least gotten their first shot, which is abysmal. And for that reason, we still have quite a few new infections. We have a lot of people in the hospital. We are still in full lockdown. So getting into the hospital without something that is not truly serious is not the easiest task right now. And you actually have to convince people that it is serious what you have. So the doctor did a pretty good job getting him into the hospital within 24 hours. He was admitted on Tuesday, and he was pretty much told that it was very serious, that he had pretty much come in last minute, and they scheduled him for Wednesday morning to get a stent and a catheter. He was pretty much one step away from having a major heart attack. So the symptoms he felt in the last few months, what he told me today, he finally admitted to it. Sorry, bumped the stand. He was feeling very tired. He fell asleep at a pin drop. He had difficulties breathing. And he actually, that was the reason why he thought that he had an issue with his lung and not his heart. And yeah, everything he did tired him out right away. And he also told my mom that he felt this stinging feeling in his body, a weird feeling he couldn't place. So I'm glad he finally spoke up and went to the doctor. So right now he got his first stent because one of his, I don't know if it was a vein or an artery. I'm not a doctor, but I hope it will be in the final report. Was completely clogged. Another one is partially clogged in 2 places. So he is now scheduled to get a second stent tomorrow, and they are also currently discussing what to do with the second clog. They might not put in a stent. They are thinking about putting in a balloon type of thing that is supposed to widen the vein, artery, whatever it is. I think it's a vein, but I'm not entirely sure. There's no way to talk to any doctors. People are still not allowed to visit other people in the hospital. It is a big mess. It's a bigger mess than it was in summer when my boyfriend did his hospital stint. And yeah, I spoke to him today, and he sounds a bit slow to me. You know, he's talking kind of slowly. So I don't know if that is normal or not. Maybe he was just tired. That's very possible as well. But he told me he's feeling fine, especially compared to the last few months. He's feeling pretty good, actually, so that is a relief. And we were waiting for whatever will come out of tomorrow. But I think he's in good hands. And we fully expect that he will be released from hospital by Saturday, because they are trying to get all the non-beer virus people in the hospital out as soon as is possible with whatever they have. So yeah. Which is why I might have to adjust my vacation plans slightly. I had originally planned just to craft and do nothing else, and I think I might go and visit. I really want to. I haven't seen my parents since Christmas 2019, which is a super long time, and I've always felt uncomfortable with the situation because I always have in the back of my mind that something like this can happen, and yeah, I can be a bit fatalistic at times. Yeah, but I really want to go and visit them. It's just depending on when he will be released. So if they are going to release him this Saturday, we might actually go this weekend and drive up there on Saturday and back home on Sunday. I am on vacation, the boyfriend is not, so yeah. It will only be a one-day visit. If they do not release him, we are going to visit the following weekend. So whichever it's going to be, I have to adjust my mat crafting plan slightly. It won't be an issue because I literally only plan to craft and do nothing else. So nothing major and super important I'm missing out here, if we are all honest with ourselves. Also, I can take my knitting with me and maybe get some of my knitting done. That would be a nice change. Yeah. But I can only repeat what I've been saying for months. 2021 really is the sequel no one has been asking for. It is officially confirmed now. I'm not a fan. Can we stop now, please? It's really not fun if one thing follows the other, and you constantly feel like you're just complaining about stuff. I mean, it's serious stuff. No one can tell me this is not serious, but still, it feels like it can't be true. And it is, and I hate it here. So yeah. I hope you are doing well. I really do. I would wish this on no one, to be honest. I'm doing okay. I am, as always, stressed out. It's probably not a surprise. You can see how much stitching I got done this week. This is because I stitched like a crazy person. On the one hand, because this drop annoyed me to no end, because this is a giant piece of stitching. It started up here, which you can't see. It's out of scope even because it's so big, but it's all this body here. This is 5,500 and something stitches. Pippa, the wonderful person she is, she uses Pattern Keeper, and she actually answered the question I asked the designer of this piece, how many stitches this is. This drop is way too big. For a regular stitch along, this is way too big. I don't know what Erin was thinking. I don't think that a person who stitches on multiple projects, like most stitchers do, I literally don't know a single truly monogamous stitcher, and doesn't want to spend days and days and days and days on the same project doing a crazy amount of stitching, will not be able to finish this within a month. My weird, I have to get this done brain can do this, but I'll be honest with you, if I didn't know that I'll get a 25 or 20, a 25-day break now from this piece, I would probably hate it till the end of time. It's just too much. Just too much. And as you know, I am very weird about keeping up with my stitch-alongs, so I can't even think about not doing it because it will drive me insane. That being said, I think this will be like another hour of stitching. As you can see, this goes pretty fast. I split my stitch there, and I hate when that happens. This is going pretty fast and it's all just filling in now, so I don't expect this to take much longer. And then I will concentrate on some diamond painting. I have done diamond painting over the weekend mostly. I will admit I started on my DP theme of the month paintings a little early. I didn't wait until May 1st, but that's also not a rule. So you don't have to start a new project for the theme, which also means I can start a project before the theme actually starts. I mean, that's only a rule for me because you don't know the theme before the month starts, but yeah. I just thought, why limit myself and tell myself I can't start this before May 1st. I just don't want to start it before I filmed the video. That's basically it. So, long story short, I started on my diamond paintings for this month, I think on April the 28th or 9th. And then I worked on them mostly over the weekend. Got a good chunk of one of them already done. You will see that tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be the second wrap up of the April theme. I botched this up badly. I forgot that I extended the deadline for the challenge. Yeah, that's me. So I did a second wrap up showing you how I was with all my paintings I chose by this point in the month, and also showing you the first progress pictures of the Josephine wall. And yeah, I hope this is interesting. Don't mind my ugly socks. They are out of focus anyway, so that's a good thing. Just have to, where are my scissors? Just have to start a new thread. Dropping things on the floor while I do. Yeah, but the most I have done this month so far is stitching. And it will be nice to have at least a short break. It will be a short one because I want to catch up on the Owl Forest stitch along, which has already started 2 weeks ago. So need to get the first drop done, and then the second one will be tomorrow, I believe, if I remember correctly. So I have to get a start on this one. I have trouble threading this needle, and I don't know why. This needle is just being a little not so nice person. So, but in the meantime, I would like to do some other crafts before I burn out on stitching. I don't feel like this could happen right now, to be honest. I enjoy stitching at the moment the most out of my crafts, but I also don't want to risk it because it would be such a pity. Yeah, I'm a bit all over the place with where I start and stop my threads. And you might have noticed that I'm actually also mixing stitching styles. Usually I stitch like I do now. I do four crosses, which is, I think it's called the English method. And for all the body part where I had to stitch in rows, I actually did the Danish version, which is to do the first half of the stitch all the way in one direction and do the second part of the stitch all the way back. But I only do that if I have long lines to stitch. And if it makes more sense to start the rows all the time at the same point. So for example, when I have a disruption like this little spot here, I try to stitch around it with full stitches. Just feels more natural to me. It's like how I learn stitching. It is interesting that there are always multiple methods to do, and it seems like we always stick with the one we first picked up, even if we later found different methods, and some of them might even be more economical or faster. It's like knitting. I am German, so I learned knitting continental style, which means I hold my yarn in my left hand. Most of my American viewers who know how to knit will probably knit English style, which means you hold the yarn in your right hand and you throw your yarn over the needle. When I saw that the first time, I really wondered why anyone would knit like that, because it's a lot of not very economic hand movements. It's a lot of excessive movements for someone who learned to knit continental. Because with continental, you pretty much do just this and don't let your needle loose and then wrap your yarn or throw your yarn or whatever. It's a really weird way to knit for me. So I feel like my way of stitching is the same as English knitting. It's not very economical, because I believe I use more floss if I do full crosses. I might be wrong, but I think I do. But on the other hand, it's just DMC, I don't mind. The reason why I still do full cross most at the time is I feel like they look better in the end. This might just be my brain playing tricks on me, but I always feel like that the crosses look neater that way. But with the darker flosses, I've also noticed that they often come out thinner and neater in general than the light ones. For example, my nightmare is always white. I just hate white DMC floss. It is so unwieldy and it always looks so crooked, and yeah, I'm not a big fan. Anyway, why am I talking about this? Probably because I mostly don't know what to talk about again. I kind of thought I had figured it out, and now my brain is totally drawing a blank. So, how was work in the last few weeks? When did I actually do my last WIP Chat? I can't remember. Well, I've finished an office move this week. Or mostly finished. I have to do one more thing tomorrow and then it's done. Finally, something that is done again. It's been 6 weeks. Right now I'm just doing a lot of talking, a lot of talking, and most of the time I want to bash my head in afterwards because, oh dear. But yeah, something got done this week, and I'm kind of happy about that. And I have a feeling once I'm back from vacation, I will finalize another one of my... it's not going to be a true move. I'm just going to close a wing of an office. But everything got done so much faster than I anticipated, and I'm actually quite happy about that. Because I am expecting some delays on some other fronts, so I hope that this will balance everything out a little bit. I have a bit of a conflict right now. So in 2019, if you've been with me at the time, you might remember that I was working for our group's real estate department, managing moves they had planned. And I'm, of course, still dealing with the same people now because they are the real estate department and I am right now doing office moves. And I like the team. I always liked the team. The people were great. It was just the traveling part of the job that did me in, because I don't deal with a lot of anxiety. Why did I do that? I don't know. But I have this anxiety with traveling. I don't want to leave my home, as in go somewhere for a few days or even weeks. It's not like I can't go outside at all. That's not it. But I hate being gone for longer than a few hours. And I had to travel a lot for that particular job, and that's what did not appeal to me about it at all. So at the end of 2019, mostly also because I didn't get a decent break and everything piled up at the end of the year, I told the key accountant back then that I would not be available for this job anymore in 2020, which is why I moved over to what I have been doing until October last year, before this real estate project once again hit me. And yeah. But I kind of got talking with the head of real estate again. She and I think we can by now say we are sort of casual friends. And she is still in dire need of a project manager. I feel like I am once again being put into situations I can't truly handle, because I'm not given the tools I need. Like I'm not given any trainings. I am not really a trained project manager. I am currently fumbling my way through, sometimes better, sometimes not so good. And this is a situation I don't really enjoy very much. So when she offered me to check with her boss if she could rehire me this time as a full FTE, which means an assigned person, or headcount, not FTE, a headcount, which means I'm assigned to this thing. I am 100% paid by them. I don't have to deal with these putting in hours into the system and discussing about every single hour's validity and bullshit like that. And I'm just going to deal with whatever they have to do for me. I actually said I would be interested in that, and I honestly am. And I don't know if I'm making a mistake, because I know there will be traveling involved again, and I know how much I hate the traveling. But at least doing these real estate projects is something I know how to do. I'm not perfect with it. I'm still learning, and I haven't been on this job for ages and ages, so that's not just me not moving anywhere. But I feel like this would give me the opportunity to grow naturally when I'm not given any trainings at all. Reason being, one of my other projects is currently going seriously wrong. Really, really wrong. And I feel like I don't know what to do. I mean, I have involved everyone, literally everyone, and their pet hamster by now. And I have an appointment tomorrow, last thing of the day at 5 p.m., which could be a very not fun appointment. I know that my project sponsor is not trying to blame me for what's going on. I know that my boss is not blaming me for what's going on, but I know that our service delivery department will try to put all the blame on me, and I have a feeling this is not going to be something I'm going to enjoy very much, which is such a happy send-off into the vacation. That being said, I mean, I have told my manager already that I am not available for this particular customer any longer. I am not the correct choice for that. This project needs a project manager who is fully finished in his education, or their education, I should say. Could of course be a woman, and is not like me, still trying to find their footing. And also I have this big transformation project which is supposed to save the company a poop ton of money, which is real estate related. So he, of course, fully understood and fully supported that I wanted to concentrate on that one. Because this is going to pick up now that we move into summer. A lot of things will hopefully move into the actually moving, closing, completion phase of things, and less workers' council bullshit talk, which is what I'm mostly doing now. Yeah, so she approached her boss. Her boss said yes, he loved the idea. So basically, I have an offer on my table now, and it's a bit of a problem because they want me right now. So I don't know what's going to happen. The head of real estate is going to write an email to my vice president, the one who's sponsoring the big transformation project I am doing, and is asking him if they can have me, basically. I'm kind of not looking forward to that, but yeah, we shall see. So this was the end of my first skein of 550 for this project. So we are breaking in a brand new skein of that. Let's see. This much should be okay. So yeah, a bit of a conflict. I want to do it, and on the other hand, I know I'm going to hate the traveling once it's going to happen again. So I don't know what to do. Don't know what to hope for. But on the other hand, I really do not want any more projects with actual outside of the company customers without being properly trained to some degree at least. And you know, I didn't expect to be sent on weeks and months of training, but I thought I would get at least some kind of training first, you know, how to deal with stuff someone who has until then not done any official project management usually doesn't deal with. Not so much. Can't see anything, can you? The angle is a bit odd for me, but would like you to be able to see. So let's see how this works out. Yeah, so yeah, turmoil. I feel like my work has been years of turmoil since I left my cozy old position in 2018. Not that that was a bad decision, because I don't believe that this position would still exist today. I don't have any illusions where this is concerned. Yeah, so what would you do? Would you take the risk of doing something that involves something you really, really hate, like traveling, in exchange for the type of project you know you can actually do and do well, and hopefully learn more while doing it than just trying to fumble your way through? Because I have to be honest, I know my boss always keeps telling me, you as the project manager have done everything you can do in this situation. It's not all your responsibility. Don't worry too much about it. And I just can't shut it off. It's probably the perfectionist inside myself. And there's also some things I haven't fully ingrained yet, that I should do as a project manager, just to make sure my behind is covered. So that's also another thing they keep telling me, and I just can't get myself to do. So I think I need more time to learn and get into the groove of things in an environment I know I can survive without hurting my company. So yeah. That's why I've been thinking about it and actually voiced this thought out loud, where I fully knew when I said it that she would jump on it right away, because she already told me at the beginning of 2020 that she was really, really sad they lost me, and that they thought I was the best they had had in the 3 years they had tried to use project managers from my brand within the group. She also told me, that was so nice of her. The group consists of multiple brands. I think I have talked about this before, and we are the IT brand, the actual Do IT brand. We have also a boarding leasing IT personal brand, which we are now by name connected to, but are not historically. And we have this, we are the weird ones, and we are. I often joke that I feel like I was born in the wrong company, because I don't fit in with most of my company, with the way they are thinking, the way they are dealing with things. I feel like I'm more pragmatic than they are. What the hell am I doing? Okay, I know what I'm going to do. This would have been smarter to stitch full crosses. I just realized that. But yeah. It's okay. It's okay. We will get there. If everything goes wrong, we just stop and start. And yeah, so and she told me last week, that I was one of the few names from my brand, from my company, you could actually say within the other branches, and that would not garner a negative reaction. So I am apparently the normal one, which was nice of her to say. It's really nice to be the normal one for once, I think. So I know I can deal with them, and that's kind of rare trait, which always surprises me. I don't know why even my project management co-workers, we have fixed appointments where we meet without management and can just talk about things and basically get things off our chest, and even they seem to be unable to work with most of the rest of the group, and I don't find it hard. Yeah, there are a few things that are a bit weird. For example, that we have an HR department that often tries to push HR tasks off to real estate, and who doesn't understand that HR means people and real estate means real estate, houses. But once you have learned this little fact, you can easily learn to work around it. And I don't know what people's issue is, if I should be completely honest with you. And I know why this causes so much strain with everyone else in the company when they hear they have to deal with someone from my company. Also, we are apparently masters of micromanagement. I am still dealing with the site manager of the office. I moved end of March. And he gets into everything that really, really, really doesn't concern him. He keeps asking me detailed questions about things that don't interest me personally, so I don't ask these questions of my suppliers. I just commission work with them, and I expect them to deliver what I need. And I'm not interested to learn their trade and all their trade secrets. Apparently he is, which I consider his personal problem. But he seems to think that his personal problems should be my personal problems. So we've had a bit of a conflict today. But this is very typical. And oops, that's the middle hole. And happens quite a lot with my co-workers. And that's basically the reason why we are not very well liked in general. Some of us in particular. Yeah, But like I said, I'm kind of conflicted because I don't know what to do. Right now it sounds like a good idea to take the job, but that little voice in the back of my head also tells me, you've been there. You've been there, and even hindsight doesn't paint it in this rosy, nice color that hindsight often does. But yeah. So I would be interested to hear what you think about that. Oh, this is a bit straining on my arm because I have to lift my arm higher than I usually do. So excuse me while I stretch. This might even not take an hour. Now I'm being over ambitious, I know. So, and this is why it's done, because now I have to end this thread and start new, because I literally stitched myself into a corner. But this happens if I try to talk and stitch, so that's why I usually don't do WIP chats with stitching, because I get distracted too much from what I do. And if I have to read a pattern, this can get really, really ugly. So let's start this anew, shall we? I know that most people do a pin stitch. I have yet to learn that one. I don't knot my thread on the back, but I also don't mind just starting this way. No, that's too straight. But I'm also a person who carries her thread. I could have carried the thread up here. I actually finished it long enough that I had it probably carried up here. So pardon me while I show all my dumb on camera. Yeah. Yes, but other than that, other than work shenanigans and then this health scare with my dad and loads of crafting, that's actually been everything I've been doing lately. We're still not allowed to leave the house for much. I mean, we could go outside during the day, lockdown for the night. The curfew starts at 9 p.m. But there's actually nothing to do, so we usually don't go out. Also, the boyfriend is now back on full working hours, and that often means that he is not back home before, like today it's going to be 7:30 in the evening. It was the same yesterday. Sometimes he's here by 5, which would have been Tuesday, but generally he starts late and finishes late, so that's his MO. And I don't know why he can do that, because I never could. I mean, I'm not an early bird, but I am the type of person who wants to have free time after work, and plenty of it, so I'd rather start at 8 the latest and then be done in time. But in all fairness, I should also say that he works for a very small physical therapy office, and they have a long lunch break too, which I don't have. So that always factors in as well. Big business usually just tell you have a break, but don't tell you when and how long, except for what's in the law, which basically is half an hour. So, and I sometimes even don't do that, because who is checking on me? Yeah. So all of my boring life. So for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, I did the promised huge owl forest unboxing yesterday. I forgot to mention something. Owl Forest is currently on vacation. There is a public holiday in Russia that I think they extended this year, from May 1st to May 10th. So everything is basically closed, Owl Forest as well. But as they usually do when they close down their business, is that they put their PDF patterns on sale. So they did that as well this time. So all their PDF patterns are 20% off. So in case you are interested in getting some of the PDFs, do it now. It's a good time to do it. I sure did, because I needed more patterns. So another thread done. I forgot to mention that yesterday, and I thought I would drop this little nugget of information. It is not running for another 4 days. So today is the 6th. I hope to have this up by later today. I'm not going to do any editing, so I'm sorry if this is, for whatever reason, an edit-worthy WIP Chat. That's just how it is. It's going to live here now. And I hope to have it up by maybe 8 today. I'll have to see if that is feasible. And then you have until the 10th to get anything you want, because then they are back from vacation. And you can order regular stuff, physical stuff as well. It's just not discounted, and they won't start shipping it out until the 11th, I think they said, because then they are supposed to be back. So yeah, just be aware of that. And in case you haven't seen it and you're interested in seeing the 7 kits I unboxed, the video was up yesterday, and it was also a long one. It was like nearly an hour long, which was a bit scary at the end. I didn't expect this, but on the other hand, it was 7 kits, so I probably should not have been surprised about it. So, what else is there to tell you? Like I said, that was basically it. Oh, I rewatched in the last 3 days. I rewatched the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I don't know why. I felt like while stitching on this piece here for hours and hours and hours, I could watch 3 movies that will take half a day if you watch them all in a row. So much Lola in here. So I did that, but I split them up over 3 days because I did it after work, and I have literally no more time than 1 movie after work each day. And it was kind of good to revisit them. I mean, I watched them, I would say, every couple of years or so. But even at now 20 years old, these movies are still fantastic. So much more fantastic than the books, in my opinion. I never liked the books. The way they are written, I should say. I like the story, I just don't like Tolkien's writing style. So I was very, very happy when these books finally got a worthy movie version. For the longest time, we were told that these movies could never be made in a way that would truly honor the books, and I'm glad that this was not true. That being said, I am never ever going to rewatch the Hobbit trilogy. I didn't understand when they made it why they made it. I mean, I can understand why they would make a Hobbit movie, but I didn't understand why they made it a trilogy. Back when I tried to read Lord of the Rings and failed, I decided I would try to go for The Hobbit, maybe because it was such a short story compared to the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and I got that book and I tried to read it and failed again, but it was so much less book compared to the trilogy, so I don't know why they felt the need to blow this whole thing so out of proportion and turn it into a trilogy. But nevertheless, they did. We saw all 3 movies in the cinema, and at least I never saw them again because they are so not worth it. I think the boyfriend has rewatched them. He owns them. My mother, for 6 happy years, had this tradition of giving him the extended version, first of The Lord of the Rings and then The Hobbit, as a Christmas gift. And yeah, That's why we have them, but nah. In all honesty, when I first saw The Two Towers, the second movie in the trilogy, I did not love it. I, to this day, hate the cinematic version of it. I can only watch the extended version, which makes literally no sense when I tell you why I hated this movie so much. Basically, we saw The Fellowship of the Rings. I loved it. We waited a year. Two Towers came into the movies, and then we went and saw it, and I was so disappointed to sit in the movie theater for, what is the regular version of this movie, like 3 hours maybe? I'm not entirely sure anymore. And nothing ever happened in this movie until the Battle of Helm's Deep. I mean, they are walking around. The one group is walking in this direction, the other group is being carried in the other direction, the third group is trying to follow the second group, and then gets diverted into whatever direction, and they are just walking. Nothing ever happens. Then Helm's Deep and movie end. I was so mad about that. And for whatever reason, the boyfriend once told me, well, try watching the extended version. It is actually better. And I was all, how the hell can something that is even 40 minutes longer be better than what I suffered through in the theater? It was. And to this day, I always will watch the extended editions of the movies. I think they accumulate to 11 hours and something. Close to 12 hours probably. But it's time well spent, I will say that. Much more enjoyable than reading the first book was, for example. It took me a whole month to read this freaking thing. A whole month. It has 300 pages. I read the 5th Harry Potter, which I think in the English version has like 800 pages. Was it 800? It was the longest one of the series, and I read it in English. It took me, if you sum it up, probably 24 hours. I read about, I would say 16, 17 hours the first day. I couldn't put it away. And then I finished it the next day. I would say it was like maybe 24 hours total. So yeah, it's not that I'm a slow reader. It was just so boring. It put me to sleep every single night. And that was back in the day when I was still young and actually was able to turn a full night into a day, basically. I could stay up for 24 hours and not suffer for it. So yeah, that's how interesting I found the books. Especially the chapter about the old forest. Dear me. I nearly burnt the book. So thank God for movies. Probably explains why by now I am much more of a movie watcher than a reader these days. That being said, any good books you read recently? Anything new that is worth having a look at? I haven't read any books in, I would say, at least a couple of years. I read, honesty first, I read fan fiction. I find it easier to digest because I usually read at night in bed, so it's much nicer to hunker down with my tablet and some easy to digest fan fiction of a story I already enjoy. Not to say there aren't so many horrible fan fictions out there. It is basically the number one practicing tool for anyone who dabbles with this, the dream of becoming an author. So, and it shows. But there are pretty good ones out there as well, and it's probably the aspect that I don't have to fall in love with a whole new universe first because they use stuff that is already known. Also, way back. It's been so many years. I used to write fanfiction myself, so I have fond memories of that time. So I would really, if you've read anything recently, preferably something that hasn't been around for too long, because then I might already either have read it or have it had recommended to me. I would be very interested in that, because I would like to read a book now and then. That is not a reread, because I've also started rereading stuff. Just because I know I will enjoy it and not be mad at wasted time afterwards. I guess if you get older and get more and more stuff to do and less free time, you are more jealously guarding the time you have to spend on something that is not quickly done, like reading. Alright, I am going to finish these last few stitches, but I'm going to finish the WIP Chat here because I really don't know what to talk about any longer. I am proud of the 50 minutes I managed. I hope you were too. I hope you enjoyed this. And I hope watching me stitch wasn't too bad. I think I got the camera angle okay this time. I have to remember that. For the next time, I think I can do WIP Chat with a cross-stitch piece of mine. Alright everyone, I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, and I will have this second wrap-up video up tomorrow, so stay tuned for that, and then we shall see what happens over the weekend, if I'm actually home or if we are going to visit my family. I don't know, but I think I have some of next week at least covered with new content, and I should be home for the actual week, because the boyfriend has to work while I am at home enjoying 4 days off and 1 public holiday. All right, that being said, I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye guys.